If you have a collection or being contacted by a collection company, you need to watch this because many of these companies are borderline illegal and they're actually suing people for debts that they don't even owe and reporting them on their credit report. Now, this channel, we talk about credit. So if you like that kind of information, subscribe to the channel and you can go to my website and download this free heart inquiry removal package. And that link's in the description of the video. And with these companies, if you're not careful and you pay that collection, you're giving them a right to actually tear down your credit, and they can report that for 7 years. Watch this.
Major debt collector filed lawsuits against tens of thousands of people in Arizona in the last 3 years, even while they were facing millions of dollars in penalties for violating consumer rights around the country. One woman who was sued thinks they got her debt all wrong, and now she's fighting back.
It's not my debt, so I don't know if this has to do with fraud, credit fraud, or what. And it's not just me. There's other people. Other people need to know how to fight them. And I'd love to be able to do that.
What we know right now is that as many as 1 in 5 people actually have debt in collections, and a good number of those are going to end up in lawsuits. So the latest research that I've been looking at shows between 2 and 4 million debt collection lawsuits are filed every single year. And these are over pretty small claims. A lot of these are going to be between $1,500 to $2,000. Ann Munoz was sued over $2,700. Right. So they're not that huge. So it's hard to get an attorney. It's hard to get representation. And usually that's going to end up as a win for the debt collector.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in debt $2,700 or so, it's going to cost thousands just to, get an attorney for all the fees and everything like that.
It absolutely can. And we did speak to a researcher who has been looking at this across the country.
Our best estimate around the country is somewhere between 60 and 70% of all of these lawsuits end in a default judgment. And typically that's an automatic win for the plaintiff. And typically that's an automatic win with no judicial review of the case or the sort of validity of the case.
Okay, so when he's talking about those staggering numbers, what can someone do if they're being sued by a debt collector?
So what you're supposed to do is absolutely respond. I think a lot of people originally look at this and think that this could be a scam. It could be fraud. Maybe they don't recognize the name of this debt collector. But you need to respond to these and take it seriously because it could otherwise result in that kind of automatic or what we were talking about, those default judgments. But the researchers that we talked to also want to see better laws across the country. They want to see state lawmakers step up and the state courts themselves be able to really review these cases and verify the legitimacy and authenticity.
Now, these companies know that they are borderline illegal. Next time you have one call you, tell them, I'll talk to you, but not on a recorded line. They'll immediately tell you they cannot do that and hang up. Make sure you never verify your information with these companies because they're trying to trick you by recording that call with a verbal contract. Companies like Portfolio Recovery Services have the name Portfolio because they buy these debts in bulk. And many of times they do not have the legal original contract with that paperwork. And so they'll buy these debts for pennies on a dollar from the original creditor. Many times you'll see charge off on a debt that's over 180 days. And when they charge that off, the original creditor, they're writing this off as a loss. And many a times they can claim that loss on their taxes. Even if you've been paying them over time, they claim that on their taxes and the IRS give them a credit for the full amount that's lost. For them to make even additional money, they turn around and sell that debt to third-party collectors because if you owed them $2,000 and then they write that off on their taxes, that $2,000, if they collect from you and you pay them, then they actually are enriched to about $4,000. So they don't want to get themselves in trouble. So they just sell it to the third party and they get their money once again by selling these debts to make extra money. And then they let them actually pursue you. And you're under the impression when you're talking on these phone conversations that you're talking to this company and they legally purchased this debt. Many times you have these companies that could just get your own information from somewhere and then slap it on your credit report. And a lot of people are unaware. They just want it off and pay them. And then when you pay them, you're agreeing to do business with them and they can report that on your credit report now for the next 7 years. So you need to be very careful when it comes down to collections and you always want to verify the debt. So making them verify the debt that they have a legal right to collect on a debt, you want to send them a debt validation letter because understand this, you and I both have an electric bill, but one day I just show up to your door, knock, and hold up your electric bill with your electric company name. And I tell you, hey, pay me this bill. You will, number one, kick me off of your porch and call the cops on me, because your mind is saying, so because you're holding my electric bill doesn't mean I'm going to pay you. Why would I deserve to pay you my electric bill? Same there. They're coming to collect from you. How do you know that they even have a legal right to collect on the debt? So they try to coerce you to pay them. And in this story, they're even going as far as suing people. And it's important to send a debt validation letter to these companies because you want to send it directly to them, demanding they show the legal right to collect on the debt. And especially when it comes down to medical collections. And here's why. When it comes down to medical collection, these third parties having your private health information is a violation of the HIPAA law. So a lot of times you want to challenge that. And what they'll do is send you back a medical bill. Now you got them on the hook for having your private health information, because on that bill, it's a procedure, even just having your personal health information, even your name, the type of procedure, that's a violation of OSHA and the HIPAA law. So you want to respond and press them on that. Now, we actually had at my website, debt validation letters. And if you want those letters, that link is in the description of the video in the pinned comment section. Using these strategies against these companies is very effective. And with my elite credit system, users like Greg was able to remove a collection in 12 days just by knowing this information. So if you need my help with my AI software and credit coaching, that link is also in the description of the video and in the pinned comment section, because it's important. You want to make them produce the original contract, and you want them to actually show proof they bought the debt, because many a times they'll just steal your information and pretend like they bought the debt. But where's the proof? Because many of these companies are just lying. They didn't buy anything. So you want to make sure that you challenge that. Additionally, do not sign any letters going to those companies. They will take your signature and put it on a contract. So when you send those debt validation letters, you send it directly to the company, but do not sign them, okay? Because these are some scammers. So you want to make sure they don't have your real signature so they can make up contracts and then put your signature on it. So if you're being sued by these companies, you want to make sure that you check the statute of limitations in your own state, especially with portfolio recovery services. They will get a debt that's outside the statute of limitation and then try to sue you for an old debt. You want to make sure that you're checking your state laws with that. So if you get sued, you want to talk to an attorney in your state to find out those laws and the court rules. Now, a lot of attorneys don't want to take on these smaller debts. Sometimes they want to negotiate and want you to pay the debt and pay them. But it's important that you do learn this information and you can reply to that lawsuit yourself. Now, I'm not an attorney, so this doesn't constitute legal advice, but just something I would do in the past. If I have a company suing me for $500, I'm going to countersue for $700, and I'm going to countersue for defamation of character, especially for a third party. I don't know you. I never got an Uber ride or an Apple from you. So prove that I owe you this debt, because if you don't prove that I owe you this debt, you're defaming my character on my credit report and to other lenders or whoever I solicit credit from. And I make sure that I don't just sue the company, I also sue people that work for the company. I get their names. And so I do that and put them on a lawsuit. And that gives me leverage in order to make that attorney negotiate. Because here's the thing, they're going to have more to lose than I will. And this is why I always sue them just a little above of what they're alleging I'm owing, because they're going to have more to lose than to gain. And so with you naming those individuals, if you get a judgment against them, that's going to go against their personal name. So then that attorney is going to be more likely to want to play ball with you and negotiate. And I had this time and time again, and many a times those debts can be shaken, because if they can't produce the evidence, they're risking a chance of losing the case. Even if the debt is true, if it's not 100% accurate, the interest amount, the balance, you're still defaming my character, because I might have actually got approved for that loan if it was $500 reporting than the $1,000 that you're putting on there. So your denial letters is part of your proof, and additionally your credit reports. So these are angles that you can take that I did in the past, but you always want to consult an attorney, all right, and get legal advice. But I will warn you, many attorneys, they get paid by settling things. I'd rather make a phone call and you pay me and pay them. So that's a lot of their strategy. So you want to make sure you talk to the right attorney, or you might can initially do the countersuit yourself by filling out the paperwork and then hire an attorney. And maybe they can kick the case back and take the case over. And so that will give you some additional time, or at least where you don't get a default judgment by not answering the summons in time. So this is a lot of the dirty tactics that they pull. And many a times they'll send that lawsuit to an old address so you can never actually get it. So if you find out that you have a judgment and it was sent to a wrong address, that is not served in the proper jurisdiction. So you need to call the court and tell them, how can I overturn this default judgment? And many a times they'll tell you how to file a motion, and you can show proof a lot of times that you didn't live at that address at that time. So you still will have to answer the summons, but that can remove that default judgment and force them to file in a whole nother state or town. And so that's going to cost them more money and more time. So these are some strategies that you can take, but watch out by paying these collection companies. And with that medical debt, make sure you call your insurance company to see if that debt is owed. So hopefully this information was helpful. If you have questions or comments, leave it in the comment section. More detailed questions, you can go to my website and all your questions go directly to my cell phone. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.